what's going on with this, man? And then that was a going way off on a tangent, because really what really angered me was this video where people sitting around and they're,
oh my god,
Sasquatch this and the Sasquatch that, and my native people said they're all bad because of this, and they, you know, they're the what do they say? They said something like basically they're the matriarch, sort of like first old, and I'm leaving a lot out because I'm really not trying to out these people, because I'm not trying to be an a-hole, and I'm not trying to like bash on them, because I just feel like that's just kind of, it's just kind of dumb. Like, why am I going to be down talking and bashing on people directly? It just doesn't, it doesn't sit right with me. So I'm trying to murky the waters up so you guys can't really maybe find some way back to like, oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. Like, so these people are sitting around and they're saying, oh, you guys are talking all this trash. You guys are talking about, oh, you know, like, it's the old predator that, you know, used to be around. It's like saying, well, it's, you know, it's just in their nature, and you're trying to this is what made me so angry. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, I was so angry when I was watching this video that, like, I can't even say it on YouTube. Like, I had so much rage. Like, and I'll be real, like, this type of rage, I think it's me. I'm not gonna claim that it's, you know, in a cult type of rage, or I'm not gonna claim that it's a demonic type of rage. Like, I just think it's a sensible type of rage, because something is so ludicrous that you're like, how could you be that dumb? You know what I mean? Like, how are you so unaccountable for your own actions as mankind? It's like, you mean to tell me that you actually believe that mankind was on this peaceful rise, in mankind in its dirty self, because you know people are so dirty and so shady, not all people, but you know, just like generally, that people are evil generally. You know that, like, people are what's the word? They're people are creative. Like, people are very creative and very, like, guarded and so people are generally evil by nature. It's common sense. It's like, there's levels of it. Like, some people, it's nothing really serious, but people, like I said, if the world was a fake world where people were just honest about everything and didn't hide anything and were this and that and whatever, generally so good that they would never be selfish, they would never tear each other down, they're not crabs in a bear. If it was all of that, the world would never look like what it looks like. So you mean to tell me that because some friggin' spiders or some, well, whatever you want to call them, you know, some friggin' spiders, they want to call them, you know, spiders, like, it's, I laugh at it, cause I'm thinking, like, you're talking so much trash that you really can't even comprehend, like, you can't comprehend something that's even close to that. Like, you can't say that it's bad, like, actually bad, if it even, like, so you mean to tell me that you guys are just some angels, and that whatever spiders fell out the tree, you know, the spiders fell to earth, and they're such predators that all they wanted to do was start devouring people and then devouring each other, and then it's just the same nonsense about the Genesis giant Nephilim story. Like, you never take accountability for anything you ever do. That's, you're always trying to say it's some boogeyman, it's some this, it's some that, it's something. You just can't admit that you're low life, in that people actually devour each other. Like, people are just as bad as any other thing that's out there. Like, all these other things that are out there, that we know are out there, are not that different. But, like, it's like, what are you guys trying to tell me? Like, what are you talking about? It's so mind-numbing, blood-boiling, like, rage-inducing stuff that you guys are, like, out. And then it's the thing that gets me the most is, it's like, you guys are out here acting like your Christian selves are the quote good guys, and you got your armor of God, and then you got your physical armor, and all of this and all of that, and all this, and so on and so forth, as if, like, you guys act like as if everything that bad that could happen to you doesn't happen to you because your God is just so great and just so gracious, and you think you're just so protected. And something really bugs me about that, like that you think, not saying people think they're untouchable, but it's like you actually, what are you thinking out here? Like, I'm like, what are you really thinking out here, bro? Because what that, all that does is show me how arrogant and ignorant you are. Like, you actually think that something can't spare you, or you think that, like, maybe someone or something doesn't actually have bad intentions towards you. It's like they're just kind of ignoring you, kind of looking you over, and then you get so arrogant with that type of stuff that you're bringing that you actually start thinking like, and it really just makes me really, really mad. And another thing I have to think is like, if you're that arrogant, you're that ignorant, what would make you think, like, I'm just speaking for myself personally, what would make you think that I'm on your side? Because I'm disgusted with you, like, wholly. Like, I'm looking at you like, you know what, to me, you look like something bad needs to happen to you, so you actually, like, kind of calm that arrogance down a little bit, because you're so arrogant. Like, you're out here saying this, you're out here saying that, you're out here proclaiming that this is so evil, and that's so this, and that, like, like, it's thinking like, oh, so you really think that, huh? so you actually think that you're just so this and that, and so angelic, that you think that the world was like, what do you think it was, you mean to that's what you actually think? That's what you actually think? You know what I mean? Like, you mean to tell me that you're gonna blame every other thing for all of your problems? Like, as if your dirty, filthy race can't do any wrong? See, that's what gets me so mad. It's like, so you mean to tell me that you think you can't do any, somehow you are, and then these predators, are you effing kidding me? Like, are you out of your mind? Do you not see how many crimes people actually commit? So you mean to tell me that it's the devil's influencing people to do evil things? No! Evil, psychotic people just do things. It doesn't take much to push people to do things. You know, it's not about that. It's a person that's more susceptible to something that is easier to push. That's the real truth. It's like, if you're already weak, then you're easier to influence. Don't come at me with all this crap. You know what I mean? And that's all it is crap. So, I'm watching this video and I'm getting hella mad. Like, I'm getting crazy type of images. I'm thinking like, oh, so you want to talk all that, huh? Okay. I'm thinking in my mind like, well, I already know what side I'm on, and it's not the same side that you're on. I know that. I don't care who you think you are, or what, how nice you seem, or whatever. It just angers me to a point to where I'm thinking like, oh, so what you're actually talking about is you are talking about some war crap. You guys are talking about, you want to try to, because the minute you open your mouth to say certain things that you people say, and I'm not even going to have to explain who all you people are. The minute you open your mouth to start talking like that, you are talking war. You are declaring, it's like you're declaring war. If you want war, you'll get war. You know what I mean? And you'll wind up dead just like everybody else. That's the only way I can put it. Like, you're going to be a statistic just like anybody else. So first off, stop jading yourself by thinking all is, and a lot of it is, I hate to say this, but I'm like, you try to agree with, not agree, but you try to find a peaceful ground with Christians. Like, you try to find a peaceful ground with them. And then, it's not all of them, but then it's some like this. It's that they F it up. Then, they say things like that, and you're just, you're like, you know what, man, you piss me off now. Like, you piss me off. Because you're on all of this, and you think this is a game. Okay. No, well, you don't. You actually think, I'm thinking like, you gotta be out of your damn mind. You're out your damn mind. Now, I will admit that, like, yes, is there a there is, like, okay, I'll just be real. Is there, someone's gonna say, okay, so is there something to this? There is a little bit of something to that. Like, oh, is there a predatory, like, just pure evil? I'm just being honest. Like, is there a pure type of evil that's just predatory? That all these evil things you could think under the sun, literally preying on people, other, like, in a certain way, in all type of capacities, you know what I mean? Because this thing, not only was it formed physically to prey on other things, yes, it was, you know, not only is this thing at a vibrational frequency to which it does not have remorse, it has no reason to have remorse. The damn thing is too powerful to really care. There's not much judgment coming on this thing. This thing couldn't really help itself if it tried. You know what I mean? Like, if it tried to do anything different. Does that exist? Yes, that exists. I'm not gonna. It'd be a total lie to say things. There are things out there like that. There's scary, evil things that are out there like that. Okay, but the problem with you people, with a certain type of groups, the problem with you people is this: is that you somehow want to come to the, you like trying to come to the conclusion that everything is that, and throwing it to one big category, which makes no sense and is crazy. That's like taking a room full of people and you can't tell what race or whatever the people are from. Like, you just lump them. You know, that's kind of, it doesn't make sense. Like, you're just or what your job title is. You're just throwing everybody. It does. What are you doing? You know, it's like you're just naming one big thing on things that it doesn't belong to, which is complete chaos and stupidity. Also, you're not ever taking real accountability for people's flaws. You're trying to push this, like, as much as you don't want to admit it, you want to push this narrative that, oh, you know, it's always this or it's always, no, it's not. It's a lot of time it's the people themselves. Matter of fact, a lot of human beings themselves are born like that, and that's why you see them committing heinous crimes, or you see them locked up in jails and institutions and things, because they're no good and there just are no good. So they are who they are. That's a whole thing, you guys. So you got to realize that there are beings that are good. Yes, there are beings that are very powerful, that are dark, but they're not that evil. They're not that gone. They're not out here trying to hurt people. They're just minding their own damn business. You know what I mean? It's like, you guys come, when I see this stuff, I'm like, you guys are crazy, man. You guys are just crazy with it. And another thing I have to say is, like, a lot of these people that claim, okay, well, I was in the occult and I was this and I was that. You were never meant. This is the thing about your dumbass. You were never meant. You were never really meant to be in that. It's just like, for instance, a guy could play football his whole life and then he wants his son to be a football player, right? That does not mean his son is actually really cut out to be that. He may even have certain little aspects, like, yeah, it's in his blood technically, he has a physicality maybe or something, you know, so he would be good at it to a degree, but really, really, really deep down, he's really not. Because you gotta understand, events play out into a certain way, right? And sometimes it wasn't a good idea for you to get into certain things or to be so deep into something, you know? But then when you leave, you have all this stuff to say, and then from my perspective, I'm thinking like, well, you know what? I would have wanted to be in your shoes, and I would have tried to work that system that you're in as much as I could. Like, I would have really tried to work it. I would have tried to, you know, bring positive things out of it. I would have tried to make something out of myself. But you know, that's just me. Like I said, I'm not you. You're not me. You know. See, my experience was this. My experience was always being a Christian in just seeing nothing but just death and just decay and no results, and just like, you know, people were just manipulative, and actually the same thing like I see now, but not. But the perspective I was seeing it from was I was actually trying to align myself with the nonsense. But now I'm like trying to get way away from it and just looking from a distance, but still seeing the same behaviors. You have no accountability. You know, I have to repeat that over and over. You people in general, but you Christians, you take no accountability. You take no accountability for your actions. You take no accountability for your actual nature. You take no accountability for any damn thing. You always you just want to make up a story for everything. Just like I'm gonna have to say it, people are gonna get really mad, and I'm gonna just say it. I'm just gonna say it. People are gonna get pissed off. I have nothing against you people, and actually, I'm gonna be honest. There are people back in my family that are actually related to some Native Americans, so I'm just gonna be honest. But I'm gonna keep it real. You guys make up. You guys make excuses and don't take accountability. Not for everything, but for a lot of things that you do, and you always have a story for it. So it's like, oh, cannibalism, right? So you get hungry, right, like any person would, and you eat a motherfucker. You eat somebody, right? You got like way back. You get hungry, so you ate somebody. So you ate someone because you were starving. And you say, oh, it's the Wendigo. It's this, it's that, motherfucker. It's you. You decided to do that. It wasn't no spirit that jumped in you. It's just you can't come to grips. You can't come to grips with the fact that you are an animal and that you are that person. And you just and you just made a decision. You have to live with that. See, that's part of who I am, is that I realize, like, you make decisions and then you live with them. And you realize, maybe I actually wish I could go back and change that I did, but guess what? I can't go back. I am that person. Okay, like, I am this person. I am that person. So, I take ownership of it. I don't blame a demon. I don't blame some dark force. I don't blame some beings that I don't really quite understand, that literally live in my vicinity or live around me, or that I've seen or have history in my family. I don't do any of that. I just look at myself and say, okay, well, maybe I'm disgusted with myself, but that's who I am because I chose to, and I'm owning it. You don't do that. That's what makes me so mad. That's not all that makes me that mad, but that's part of what makes me so angry. Is like, so that's what you want to do? So I look at it like, you might deserve some bad things you get. You know, I hear stories like, oh, you know, this thing did this and that. I'm thinking like, so what makes you think you're so innocent? It's like, if you think that from your Christian perspective, or from your friggin' Navajo perspective, or your friggin' Cherokee perspective, or whoever you people are, or you friggin' Spanish and Mexicans, if you guys think, in blacks and Africans, whoever, you know, you people, because there's so many these people out here, if you actually, this is my thing, if you actually think that your God, or your this or that, can pass judgment, or you think because you know something out of your Bible, or your book, or your ancestors passes, if you think that you can pass judgment, right? What makes you say that I can't, or the next being or thing can't pass the same judgment, can have a different perspective and look at you like, nah, you actually got it all twisted? No. You are so arrogant and you are so ignorant that you deserve to get your ass kicked. And that, like, with some of your stories, you guys have gotten your asses kicked. You guys have. You guys have literally been physically assaulted. Like, seriously. You guys have been in the hospital, broken ribs. You guys have gotten jumped on by some being, jumped on you and beat your ass. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry, but I kind of laugh at that because I think like, oh, so, and I'm going to tell a story, right? I've told parts of this story, but I'm not going to go really into it. So I have a family member, right? And this person encountered some being, you know what I mean? They encountered one of these type of beings, and they didn't get hurt. They didn't get it didn't put their hands on them or anything like that. You know what I mean? But in my mind, I'm thinking that thing could have, like, you little puny self, like that thing could have ragged you. You know what I mean? But you say, oh, it's because I prayed and I pled this and I pled. Man, I don't know about all that, man. You know what I mean? I don't. You prove that to me. That's the thing, is you need to really prove that to me, because I'm not buying it. Because I'll put it to you like this. I feel like that's extremely arrogant for you to really think that. There's too many things in life that just we don't understand, and there's too many spiritual things that you can try to claim, that's your little Christian, that you could try dare claim that, man, I think that crap is just retarded. Now, is there some truth to it? Maybe. There could be some truth to that. But what I don't understand is the sheer type of arrogance that comes out often out of some of these. Like, what are you? Some of the shit I hear, like, you guys are seriously saying and claiming, oh, this and that, and I'm thinking, like, bro, like, bro, it's not enough. It's not enough for you to get X amount in your wallet. It's not enough for you to get X amount in your bank account. It's not enough for you to do X amount and have X amount experience in your life. That's just not enough, huh, for you? It's not enough. So you're out here saying this, that, and the third about this person, that thing, that person, that you're out here saying all this stuff, spreading some misinformation. Not all, but some. You're spreading some misinformation. And you're so, like, gung-ho, you're so arrogant, you're so, it's just the way you guys, it's like the way you guys do this, makes me feel very cynical. Like, it makes me look at you like, you know, I don't know about that, like, I don't know. And maybe that's a bad part of myself, but that is part of me, like, to where I see people when they get really, really, really comfortable and arrogant like that, it makes me get a certain type of way. Like, I'm like, you know, I think you probably need to learn a lesson, because you just keep pushing, like, you just push and push, and I don't think that's good. I think it's very bad, because I feel like at least have more humility to at least be accountable for your actions, to be accountable for man's evil deeds that have been done over time. You can't always take a scapegoat and just push all of your evil off on it, and just it's like, if you keep always doing that, then I think bad things should keep always happening to you. And that's another, someone will say, oh, that's evil. Well, you know, fuck you. You know what I mean? I look at it like, if